How is it going, Keldeos? It is Luke. We have a Wi-Fi battle for you today. It's against a guy by the name of Red. I had it a while ago, actually. Picked it up on the Pokemon Wi-Fi Zat. I don't really remember this battle. Oh, I kind of do now. I had this, save file just backed up, and I haven't used it yet, so it's been a while since I've actually used this. But you can see by the teams, it's going to be pretty interesting. You can see the Staraptor is obviously going to be Scarfed, while I would assume it'd be Scarfed, but then so Terracross, so it's really a hard call, but you guys are going to see. It's a pretty interesting match from what I remember, so I'm going to go ahead and lead with Gliscor, probably predict him to lead with either Victini or Heracross. He ends up leading with the Victini. Now as soon as I switch here, I'm going to say that I was predicting the Heracross, so I'm going to end up switching out to my Rotom. I knew that he was most likely going to go for the U-turn, but at the same time, you know, obviously he can't really touch my Gliscor, but just on the off chance he is special and not physical, I am going to switch out to my Rotom. It is my best bet, as he's just going to go out to his Braveheart, which is a Scarf Raptor, I assume, which is pretty cool. So he's going to go for the double edge. Now, I wasn't expecting this, honestly. I don't know what I was expecting. I was just expecting him to switch out, because I don't know, just double edge, I just wasn't expecting it so early. But he ends up taking me out with it. So I lost my Rotom, second turn of the battle pretty much, which is kind of shit. So I'm just going to end up switching out to my T-Tar, assuming he is choice locked into that, so I know he's going to be forced to switch. Looking at his team with the Heracross and the Staraptor and all that kind of stuff, the Stealth Rocks are going to be so beneficial, so I really need to get those up ASAP, which I do here, which is nice. So I'm going to get those up as Heracross comes in, and the bad thing about that is I could have predicted that switch and gone for the Flamethrower, but at the same time, like I said, I really needed the rocks up, so that means Gliscor is going to need to take a hit. But fortunately for me, he does end up just going for the close combat and not the Mega Horn or anything like that, so you know, he does deal minimal damage there in that kind of situation, which is great. So now I have a few options. I can either switch out predicting his switch, which he is going to switch, so I could do that, or I could set up a sub, depends on what he has on his team for me. Now he has the Gyarados. Now I believe knowing that I'm going to make a switch out, and I would have gone out to my Rotom, but unfortunately, obviously, I lost it so early on in the match. It would have been so helpful for this Gyarados, but now because I don't have it, I'm going to be forced to double out to my Keldeo predicting this instead of my Rotom. Now, I missed the Hydro Pump here. Now, this is big problems because Hydro Pump would have 2-hit KO'd it, and I could have taken any hit, whereas now I'm going to have to 2-hit KO it if I hit everything, and I'm going to have to take a really heavy hit, and I don't think I can take two depending on what kind of set he is. If he's the bounce set, that's going to suck. He ends up going for a second Dragon Dance here, I guess, knowing that I can't OHKO him with the Hydro Pump. So I end up just going for it again. I really need to hit this thing for some damage. Little does you know, I am a Choice Specs variant, so you can see that is going to do a massive amount of damage to this Gyara. So now he is going to be forced to attack me, there's no doubt, because he obviously doesn't want to lose his Gyara, so he doesn't want to risk the miss and go for the Dragon Dance again. So knowing that, I'm going to want to try and preserve my Keldeo, so I'm going to end up switching out to my Tyranitar. I know I can take any hit from this thing, just because I am a T-Tar, and even at +2 I can take any hit, even an Earthquake I should be able to take. I think I take it, yeah, I do take it, just look at that, that's amazing. Now this is great for me because he does take an extra turn of Sand, but at the same time he's rocking leftovers on that kind of set, which is unfortunate. But the main thing is I have my Stealth Rocks up, so T-Tar isn't really all that useful to me anymore. It would have been nice fodder for the Victini, but saying that, it means I get to save my Keldeo, which is definitely a worth it trade. So I can fodder off my Tyranitar there, and I can safely bring in my Scarf Terrakion now, which is probably what I'm going to do. That is the best play here, I would imagine. So I'm going to bring in my Scizor. Okay, I'm going to Bullet Punch it, I guess. So I'm just going to bring in Scizor and Bullet Punch it. I guess he didn't really, he has the Victini, so I guess I should have gone out to Terrakion, unless I'm thinking I didn't want to reveal that I was Choice Scarfed yet, so I can end up bringing it in on his Victini and Stone Edging it later on. So anyway, I end up going for the Bullet Punch. Now I have to switch out, obviously. I do still have the Keldeo and the Gliscor. I didn't know what he wanted to go for at this point, so I end up bringing in Keldeo. He ends up going for the V-Create. I didn't know what he had for my Gliscor, and I'm guessing if he had anything he would have gone for it here, which is why I switch in the Keldeo, but he turns out he goes for the Fire Stab, which leads me to believe that he doesn't actually have anything in specific for the Gliscor. So it's a good piece of information. Unfortunately, Keldeo took a hit, but knowing that he has nothing on his team now to take a Hydro Pump or a Surf from this Keldeo, he is forced to switch because he lowered his speed, so I can just go straight for the Hydro Pump and either take out the Victini or take out whatever he ends up wanting to switch to, which happens to be the Heracross. So that gets absolutely annihilated, which is amazing. Keldeo doing work as it does. So he's going to bring in Staraptor now. Again, for him to bring this thing in on a Keldeo, it is definitely Scarf. The Heracross is banded, so I'm going to need to switch now. So I go out to my Gliscor here, let him do whatever he wants to go for. He ends up going for the Brave Bird, of course. Makes most sense, since it is a stab move, and I do not take that well. That is definitely a reckless Staraptor. Holy shit, that does way too much. So Now at this point Stealth Rocks are up, so I know he's going to want to stay in, so I don't want to switch predicting the switch because I'll end up losing another poke. So unfortunately I have to fodder my Gliscor here, which is, like I said, really unfortunate. I didn't want to do that. I did kind of want that thing around, but at the same time, you know, that's just the way it is. So I send in Terrakion now. I didn't really want to send in Scizor because he has the Victini, but I ended up going for the close combat here anyway. I was going to bring it into Stone Edge, but then at the same time, if I'd have missed, I really didn't want to take a Brave Bird, so I ended up going for that. Now he's going to end up bringing in his Ferrothorn. Now here, I could have gone for the close combat, but at the same time, if for whatever reason he did want to go for the Power Whip, that would have ended up taking me out, so I have to switch to my Scizor. I know that I do 93% to a slightly invested Ferrothorn, so I do need to switch. So I do end up switching out to my Scizor here. Now I do know he has the Victini, so obviously I'm going to end up going for the U-turn as opposed to the Superpower, and that's going to end up getting off. Oh sorry, I do go for the Superpower because the Victini has to come in on rocks. I completely forgot about that. Unfortunately I don't end up taking it out though, which means I'm going to be forced to switch, so maybe going for the U-turn would have been the better play there. Maybe I just missed head calced the U-turn damage, I don't know. But I end up leaving in my Scizor here just because I do have the Terrakion, and I know that I can obviously outspeed it once I bring it back in now because he's lowered his speed with the V-Create. So if he was Scarfed and running a plus speed nature, then he still wouldn't have been able to outspeed me actually, because I'm jolly. So I don't know what my thought process was there. I think it was just a bad play on my part. So anyway, now I end up switching in my Keldeo. I know I can outspeed this thing, like I said, because of the speed drop, so I can just go straight for the Secret Sword to take him out from that range. Dealing physical damage, well, you know, I guess it's just as bulky on either side. But he has the Clefable, which I'm guessing is why I go for the Secret Sword. So he's going to bring in the Clefable. I'm just going to end up hitting it with that Secret Sword. It specs it hits physically, so it's going to deal massive amounts of damage to this Clefable. It nearly takes it out. He's going to end up going for the Soft Boiled, I guess, in hopes of being able to take one and then recover up and stall me out. But that's definitely not going to be the case. Keldeo hits way too hard for carrying choice specs. Even without specs, that would have 2-hit KO'd this Clefable. So he's going to end up switching out here. Now, I don't know why. If he'd have stayed in, he may have actually had a chance to win. But because he ends up switching out here to his Ferrothorn and taking this hit, it's not going to work out for him. I guess he was thinking because it's a hit that hits physically, or a move that hits on the physical side, I would have taken Iron Barb's damage, which in that case it would have made sense to switch it in. But at the same time, it didn't really work out for him because that's not the way that it goes down. So Keldeo is going to be able to live that. I'm actually going to be taken out here by the Sandstorm, which is really unfortunate, but because I did preserve my Terrakion earlier on in the game, I'm going to be able to bring that in now, and all he has is his Clefable, and it does not stand a chance against a close combat. So that was a really good game. Red, I believe it was a narrow one on my part due to some bad plays earlier, but still a great game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Previous battle on the top left, you guys can check out one of my featured battles on the bottom left. You can check out my channel on the bottom right. You can click in the middle, subscribe if you haven't already done so, join the Keldeo army, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.